To access the fuel tank, we first take off the cap from the neck. It is essential to drain the tank before starting the work. Drilling is done on an empty tank. After, we examine the presence of partitions and the inside of the tank. Subsequently, we use a tape measure to gauge the size of the fuel tank. Lastly, we determine the distance for placing the hole for the fuel control sensor. We use a tool to bore into the tank. Using a screwdriver, detach the metal component designated for the sensor installation. Ensure that the metal does not drop into the fuel tank. Unpack the fuel control sensor components. The process will be performed using the LLS 4 sensor as an example. For ease of use with the sensor and its adjustment in length, we use a vise. For adjustment in length, we use a tool in the form of a hacksaw for metal. We make a mark where the part of the sensor will be cut off. At the cut site, we use a knife to remove metal burrs from the cut side of the sensor. Apply sealant to plastic plug and insert into the sensor from the cut side. In the same way, we adjust the length of the LLS 5 sensor. Preparing the equipment for sensor and fuel tank calibration. Get the Omnicom USB adapter. Connect the sensor interface cable and computer USB connection cable and connect the whole system to the computer with pre-installed Omnicom configurator. Take the calibration pipe closed at one end and fill it up completely with fuel that your vehicle uses to run on. The interface will display the rising level of fuel, which will at some point stabilize at a specific value. Remove the sensor from the calibration pipe and allow the remaining drops of fuel to drip down. Refer the Omnicom configurator to view how the level falls, and once it stabilizes, click on Empty. Save the value you've got into the sensor. Here you can see the components required to install the sensor. Next, we use sealant on both sides to seal between the sensor. Tighten the fuel control sensor mounting bolts. Link the sensor to the computer and finalize the setup. Calibration or tarring is one of the most important steps of the process. Calibration of the fuel tank is necessary to verify the conformity of the digital code issued by the Omnicom LLS sensor's digital code and the fuel volume in a particular fuel tank. Calibration of the fuel tank is the fuel tank refueling up from empty to full, following a certain refueling step, and recording the Omnicom LLS sensor's readings in the calibration table. It is recommended to carry out at least 20 steps. It is possible to calibrate the tank by draining it. Tools for tank calibration: fuel pump with flow meter, Eidolon gauge, measuring can. For calibration, we need mobile bowser with fuel for big cisterns or external tank with fuel. Introduce a certain amount of fuel into the tank and record the values in the Omnicom configurator with every subsequent fuel top-up. Wait for the level to stabilize and then record it.